What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my god, the sun is bright. Today we are here with the beautiful Audi. As you can see, so beautiful, so pretty, so ugly in many ways. I don't know why I'm doing this, but today I haven't jumped into this car. I've owned it for probably about a week or so now, and it's just kind of sat here. I got to do some diagnostics to it. So today we're going to be checking out what kind of engine check lights are on, and I'll show you some of the work that I've actually done. So we got our beautiful OBD2. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the car. So here's the beautiful interior. It smells absolutely disgusting. Like, I cannot get the stench out. I think there was like mice or something living in the car. Oh, it just smells absolutely terrible. So, and I gotta say, this boost gauge is definitely getting relocated once I get into some of the work that needs to be done. Like the hood is definitely getting replaced. So here's the beautiful, this is 1.8T, like I've said in the first video. So some issues that I know we have to overcome in the engine bay that I've done is the turbo. It's only held on with one bolt, so it leaks like crazy. The wastegate wasn't hooked up properly. Vacuums were off down over for the wastegate, especially this line right here is actually another emissions bypass that I had. There's a check valve and everything here. I bypassed that. I'm gonna get a better tube to connect this with some clamps. That'll happen later on. I gotta rebolt down the coolant reservoir, make sure that other than that, the secondary pump's out. I found out that this could have been an engine swap. This is an AEB head on an AWM block, I believe. Audi guys can correct me on that, but anyhow, I fixed all that, and I found out the turbo's blown. It's leaking, of course, leaking with one freaking bolt holding it on. So I kind of got that out of the way. The car runs better, it better acceleration, but you can tell it's blown out completely. And I actually got the small little Snapchat that I took when that happened. So here is that clip. So yeah, it popped out white smoke, and at first I'm like, oh no, I just popped basically a head gasket, and I was like, oh, this job just got annoying. This car just got annoying fast. Not as annoying as the BMW can be, but still pretty friggin' annoying. But other than that, the car's running fine. You can just tell it doesn't boost because one, the compressor's completely gone because the oil back into the turbo, and there's some oil from going into the intercooler into the intake, which I had to clean up the piping on when I did my boost check, which I should have documented for you guys, and I do apologize for that. We're gonna jump straight into just using the OBD2 and find out what kind of engine codes are coming in with this. Okay, so let's try this new vehicle, 2001. Let's go to Audi A4, and it's the L4 1.8 turbo. It is a manual transmission, the 5-speed. This is correct. I love that I'm greeted with like the best things ever. So this is a freeze frame, and I love that it's a P00110. Was stored. Fuel pump has failed. Actuator circuit is open, and ECM has failed. What is actually going on here? Yeah, that's from battery voltage being a low 11. Yeah, I know how to fix that one. So here's P110. This is a camshaft A intake position actuator malfunction. It's right beside the timing belt. There's a little half circle with a line through it, and that's where the cam sensor is. And that makes sense. It looks super corroded and probably doesn't work as much anymore. And then this is P0412. This is, yeah, the secondary air punch air injection system. That an N112 malfunction Under the intake, there's a boost control valve and the secondary air injection system little control module. So one of the owners decided previous to this car that they were going to delete that system. Well, you can delete it, unplug it, and it'll throw up an engine code. Or until you basically get a tune done where that can be deleted out of the ECU. Now, ECM, sorry. And the next thing to do would be disconnect them. You need to reroute the vacuums and basically leave them plugged in. It won't throw engine check light, nothing. It'll just be dead weight. It'll just add weight to the car. And then you can leave them plugged in until, let's say, you get a tune done, a stage 1 tune. Then you can unplug those units and just toss them. Give them to someone else who needs them, who wants to keep the emissions, who has to keep emissions in their car. I live in Alberta. We don't have emission testing for passenger cars. So I don't actually have to do them here, thankfully. Back in Ontario, if it was Southern Ontario where I'm from, you do have to do emission testing. So this car would not pass at all. I wouldn't even touch this car back home. But here I have more options with projects, so I'm glad for that. But further ado, let's move on to the next codes because there's 2 more. Every time I press down on the codes, it just freezes. Here we go. And this is another one I was talking about before. It's the N249, which is under the intake as well. And then, of course, Bank 1, Sensor 1. I believe this one is right before the cat, or yeah, I believe it's right before the catalytic converter. That makes sense why this one is going to read super rich, because the turbo was blown, so the fuel mixture was off with the exhaust going through. Once the turbo came back in, it probably gave off a lot of oil. There was probably a lot of oil sitting inside that downpipe in the cat, so those are completely gone, or the cat is at least. The turbo leaks like crazy. This car is a lot of fun. I do have a new turbo on the way. I will order a camshaft position sensor. I think that's going to be the easiest thing to do. Other than that, it's going to be jump into basic maintenance. And when I say basic maintenance, I mean checking our fluids, replacing the spark plugs if they need to be replaced. So the car was running rich, so we definitely will have to look at the spark plugs. I think the coil packs are fine for now. We don't have too much to do. I am going to relocate this boost gauge. See how it's like sitting right here in the vent. I've gone to pick and pull, and I've gotten a new vent to put in here, because this thing, I don't know if I could really pull it out with my gloves on, but you just pull this out. There's a line running through there, and it goes into the intake between the fuel regulator and an intake port. Other than that, the only other thing I need to check is this windshield definitely needs to be replaced. This will not pass an inspection, and out here this car requires assurance inspection, and this will not pass it because it's got a huge crack there. Comes over here, it's got another chip there. The windshield has got one off in the corner too. Even the sunroof works on this car, so I was impressed. It doesn't leak. I'm impressed with that, honestly. Like, truly, the brakes work awesome. It's just got small hiccups in the engine to get it running, and once we get it running, we'll be freaking golden. There's 2 other things on the code reader I should bring up. So before I tie it, because this is going on pretty long, is the ABS wheel sensor on left and right rear sides both need to be replaced. I think I can just get away with going to a Passat B5 or B5.5 at pick and pull and grabbing those as well and see if they work. I think they're the same harnesses. I gotta look into that more. I can show you guys, like, it does run, it does start. Like, we'll just quickly, you know, like, it does run. Oh, another thing is it needs an oil level sensor, which I will have to order with the cam position sensor. But the best, honestly, the best place to get that stuff, I'm not sponsored by anywhere, but it's super easy to get them from, is Rock Auto. Rock Auto has great prices. Their shipping is reasonable, but definitely, if you're looking for parts, go check them out. I'll leave a link in the description. I got parts for my BMW through them, my Cruise, my S10 when I had an S10, my Dodge Charger, my girlfriend's Dodge Charger, even my Cobalt back when I was in college. Rock Auto for the clutch and everything. So they're good for like standard parts that you would find on like ECS tuning at a fair, reasonable rate. Also, with me working at a dealership, I do get things that cost plus 10%. So I do have that advantage over some of the other guys that like to do it themselves. So I definitely would recommend going through Rock Auto, especially if you're in Canada and US. I don't know what they are about international shipping across the pond per se. Definitely check them out. I just want to throw that in to see if you guys were curious where I get my parts from. Other than the turbo, I think the KO3 turbo that I'm going to be replacing with another KO3 turbo is going to be in probably eBay replacement because I'm cheap. Because I thought about going to a KL4, but I'm not ready to commit to the KL4 just yet. I'm trying to keep this a budget daily driver for right now, get everything fixed, and then I'm going to start throwing power at it. Especially one of the first mods I'm going to do is a front-mounted intercooler. Then I'll work into the turbo. I'll do the aftermarket blow-off valve, probably a Forge Motorsports valve, and then with the boost controller, and then I'll upgrade to the KL4, and then from there it'll be coil packs for sure, injectors for sure, fuel pump for sure, and then it'll be working on the body. I definitely need to get a new, it definitely needs a suspension. Wheels are definitely, they're probably going to come first before any major aesthetic power mods add on, because all I got is winter tires. So I want to take those winter tires and keep those for next season, but I need summer rims. So that's going to be my next major expense, is finding a cheap rims to get me through the season. Before I go, you got to check this out. So it runs fine, other than the beeping, of course, neutral, but check this out. That's dope. A lot of crackle and pop. It is straight piped. A lot of crackle and pop. Thank you so much for checking this video. I hope to see you in the next one. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, Valiant out.